will call the Atwater City Council meeting to order for September 12th. And we're having a Pledge of Allegiance led by Pastor Miller. You did such a good job with the firemen yesterday. Would you like to do another good job leading the Pledge of Allegiance? Please stand and remain standing afterwards for the prayer. Thank you, Chaplain McClellan. Roll call, please.
Ambrose?
Here.
Raymond is absent. Button?
Here.
Creighton is absent. Kale?
Here.
We have a quorum.
There was no closed session, so we do not need to report out a closed session. Subsequent need items.
Mayor Pro Tem, there are none.
Okay, approval of agenda as posted or amended.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion from Button, seconded by Ambrose.
Button?
Yes. Yes.
Ambrose?
Yes.
Kale?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Ceremonial matters. Well, we have a couple of things that we're going to get to tonight. First, we have the chief is going to talk about completion of Los Angeles Police Department Leadership Program by Sergeant Dayton Schneider.
Good morning, Mayor, or good afternoon. It's been a long day. Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager Waterman, members of the council, members of the community. Michael Salvador, your police chief. And we're here to celebrate lots here in the police department. Tonight's a big night for us. It's really, really one of these things that I like to kind of brag about. But our first one is completion of a very, very special set of training. Todd Snyder is a long-term member of the department, been here almost 20 years. He was selected to go through the same training that our lieutenant went through earlier in the year, the Los Angeles Police Department's Leadership Academy. He came back, passed the class, very good. I'm an instructor in that course. In fact, I'll be there tomorrow with the next cohort. We're really proud of his achievements. He's got great things coming in his law enforcement career, and hopefully this training will help facilitate some of those things. And with that, I'd like to call up Todd. It says Dayton on it, but we call him Todd. To come up, and I want to present him with this. And why don't you tell him a little bit about what you went through for 4 months?
Well, first, let me thank Chief for getting us into that program, because I have several colleagues from my previous leadership program that are still trying to get into it, and that's over 2 years. So I'm sure him being an instructor and having a little bit of pull with some of the people there in the training helped facilitate that. So thank you, Chief. That's very, very, just really appreciate it. Secondly, I'd like to thank my wife. Obviously, she took care of the household and made sure things still ran when I was gone for a week for the previous 4 months. Work full-time and raising a one of our grandbabies is, you know, a feat in itself. So I do want to say thank you. About the program, so we kind of dived into about 26 different leadership theories. I don't want to bore you with all those things between equity theory and leader membership and stuff like that. But what I will take out of this program is, first and foremost, being the third leadership program I've been to now, this was probably one of my most rewarding. One of the biggest things I really got out of this, not only just being able to, you know, leadership being inspiring someone to be able to get something done within the organization or a mission that you have, but treat your people right. That's the biggest, you know, thing I got out of this. If your organization is treating people right, rest assured your people that work in the organization are going to treat your community right. And so that's kind of the biggest thing that I took away from this, is that respect and treating your people right is paramount to an organization and how it runs. So thank you all for allowing me to go to this.
Okay, it's on. All right, here we go. You know, it's you know, listening to what you were saying, you know, in that last part about, you know, just treating people the way that, you know, and how that leaks out into what you're actually doing in that, you know, field. You know, that's you know, I just look at, you know, true leaders. You know, they really do appreciate the people beside them, behind them, in front of them, and I, you know, I see that all the time in the people that work in this department, in this police department, all the time. And Todd's just another great example of that. And so, congratulations.
Congratulations. Didn't even recognize you out of uniform at first. But with that being said, I want to apologize for my non-professional appearance on your special moment. And yeah, and you kind of worried, a grandbaby? Oh, wow. You don't look that old. Anywho, congratulations. I know it was no easy venture at all, but you did it. You got this wonderful plaque. A lot better than the stuff that we've been giving out, just FYI.
Yeah, she's right.
She got good taste.
Yeah, she got good taste.
Well, oh, we gotta go. No. Again, thank you. Appreciate your service that you've been with this community. I've seen you forever, it seems like. Even when you were young, this tall, and having grandbabies already. But congratulations. This is a great improvement. I love, like Tyler said, I love what you said about treating people the way you want to be treated and the way they feel they should be treated. And I appreciate that a lot. So congratulations. Who knows where you're going from here, but just stay here, okay? We would really appreciate that.
Yeah. One thing that really resonated about treating people right is that when Chief came in, truly a lot of the things that came out of that program, I see that's coming from him. Chief does treat his people right, and he makes sure that if someone needs time off or whatever they need, he's making sure that it happens. I mean, so it is a success that you do treat people right, and you get more out of them.
Great. Chief?
I'm good. So let's get the picture.
Yeah.
while you guys are down here, you might as well just stay, because the next item on the agenda is Me Too. So we like to recognize heroic acts when they come, and I will tell you that these two officers, probably the last thing they want to do is come up here and sit and talk about the heroic acts they do, because they do them every day. In fact, one of the officers told me today, he goes, "It's just my job, boss." I appreciate it. But we have to do these types of things. It shows our appreciation. It shows the fact that these guys are out there every single day, working hard, doing what's right. And no matter what you see in the media, 99% of the police officers are doing these types of things, right? So, on the 9th of September, we get a call for service of a missing autistic child roaming around in a neighborhood in West Atwater. My two officers get this call, they run over, and in the 15 minutes it took them to respond, get descriptions, and get into the area, this juvenile had moved approximately 1.5 miles outside the zone. They were able to track this child down, and we found him in the Livingston Canal. And the Livingston Canal right now is running irrigation water. So these officers see this juvenile in the Livingston Canal. They try to get him out. He won't come. So they go in the Livingston Canal, and they are able to keep this child from being swept by the water, and they bring him out of the Livingston Canal. He's autistic, special needs. Unfortunately, one of these officers has a special needs child and was able to appropriately ascertain the situation, and these guys didn't hesitate to go into the water to go get him. To me, that's heroism at its finest form. And it's worthy of public recognition. They hear me tell them good job all the time, but I wanted to do it this time in front of the community. Fast forward 72 hours. And at 5 o'clock this afternoon, we get another call of a drowning 2-year-old in the backyard of a house over near Atwater High School, about a half a mile north of where they pulled the autistic kid out of the water. One of the officers that is getting this award tonight is the first on scene, gets the child lifeless, blue, non-breathing, no pulse, starts immediate CPR. We clear the child's lungs, and he has a save. We brought it back. So for this, I'd like Officers Ken Lee and Alex Salazar to come up front. Officer Salazar is the double save. Officer Lee is his partner. He was the single save on the 9th. And with that, I would like to present these 2 certificates of commendation. They both acknowledge that Officers Kinley and Alex Salazar are being recognized for actions that saved the life of an autistic child on September 9th, 2022. We're giving him these awards September 12th, 2002. These will go into his personnel file, but I went ahead and put together some framed. I'm not as good as you, Michelle, sorry, but I did try. These framed certificates of commendation for both Officer Salazar and Officer Lee. Nice work. Say something? It's okay. Permission to speak for you.
It's a little difficult. I'm not going to break down in front of everybody and start talking about it. So it's an honor to serve this city, and that's all I have to say.
It's great to work here. last 3 months, I've seen a lot of action. I've done a lot of good things, seen a lot of crazy things, good things. I work with a lot of great people like Sergeant Snyder, Officer Lee, Chief Sonvor. So I'm looking forward to next upcoming years and see what's in the future. Appreciate it.
It's hard not to sit here and listen to what you gentlemen did without getting emotional. I can't speak on the families, but I'm pretty sure everyone on the council will agree. Thank you for everything you do. Not just what you're being honored for tonight, but just coming in every day and serving this community. Thank you.
I'll just say thank you because, just thank you.
You know, when I was reading my agenda and going through it today, I was so moved. I had already heard the story about you guys jumping in the canal and rescuing that young man. And all I could think about, I was reading this while I was laying on my bed and watching the news, and all I could think about is every time I hear about police officers in the news, it's bad things. Somebody thought that they did something wrong and they were exploiting that and going crazy. And you hear it all the time. It doesn't matter if you listen to whatever news you listen to. It's an honor to stand up and point to two heroes for the city of Atwater, because you hardly ever hear bad things coming out of this town about our police officers. So thank you guys. Respect what you do. I'll always be there and support you guys no matter what. You guys are doing an awesome job. Thank you. It's the best we can say. Okay, it's days like this that I don't mind the mayor being here, and I get to sit in this chair. It's always an honor to do that, and especially on a day like this where we celebrate our heroes. All right, so next thing we're gonna do is presentations. Presentation regarding the Young Legislators program for 2022, and representing Santa Ana Caballero, District Representative. It's
Diana
Miss Westmoreland. How are you?
Great, and what a nice opportunity to witness local government in action. This is what local government does to take care of you and all of you. And I'm going to talk about our Young Legislator program. I'm going to whiz through this pretty quick, if you don't mind, Janelle. Are you in charge of the?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is our district currently, and we are including the Salinas Valley, San Benito County, western edge of Stanislaus, all of Merced County. I call it the Flats of Madera with a little of the hills, and then western Fresno County, and all those cities that were there. We did 4 units, and then they got to go to in person, because it was all through Zoom, up to Sacramento. Congressman Costa San Benito County Supervisor, Jewel Hurtado, City Councilwoman from Kingsburg, and then we had a school board district member from Gonzales. We also had, on talking about mental health awareness, Alan Brooks, president of the NAACP, and Heather Walker Jantz with Jantz Family Therapy. And you know these last few years has been very hard on students. Next, for elections and civic engagement, we had people from the elections department. I had my chief of staff, Luis Quiones, come, and then an alumni from the first class from 2019 that you all were so gracious enough to allow us to use your room for 4 Saturdays in a row to have kids come from all over the district here in the San Joaquin Valley. So I wanted to add a special thank you for that graciousness on your part to allow us to use the building here and to actually sit in the seats and see what happens with local government. Then we did the life cycle of a bill, but you can go through because there's several pages of that, so we can get through that. The best one is if you watch that little I Am a Bill and how you, it's been around for a long time, but this is some of the bills that the senator worked on. And then again, about the why to vote, why it's so important, because who you vote for represents you at the local level and the state and back in DC. Then it talked about how to register. We've changed some things, so that's always very important. And then our staff member, Michelle, took over how you actually start with the bill, what happens with it, how it moves through the different committees, and how people offer amendments. Then we did do a mock hearing to get prepared. Then they took the capital trip. And I'm going to invite the students that are here with me tonight to come up and introduce themselves, and if they so choose, to say a little bit about their experience. Come on up, don't be shy.
Hi, my name is Ariana Medina, and I was previously one of the students in YLP. I can definitely say from my experience, this is something that I've never been a part of, and I'm so gracious for our whole team for bringing us all here. And I know that this is something definitely that I'm going to want to go in the field, and I'm gracious for the opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rose Velasquez. I'm also a participant of the Young Legislators program. I attend Buhat Colony High School right now, and it was definitely a really cool opportunity, especially for some kids from Atwater, such a small town, to be able to meet even our Senator Ana Caballero. That was a great opportunity, and just to kind of see what you guys do, you know, for your jobs, and just to get a look into that world. And so that is also something that I am looking into as a career, and it was definitely something that was really awesome to be able to see. So I thank everybody on the team, and even you guys, and Atwater in general, for giving us that opportunity.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicolas Orenzana. I attend Atwater High School, and I was one of the participants for Senator Ana Caballero's Young Legislators program. It was honestly such an honor to be part of something so great and so big, and seeing what is happening and how all these people are coming together and dealing with all these situations. I think it was really amazing to even go to the Senate floor, or well, the Senate gallery, because they're getting ready for a hearing. But I think it was honestly such an amazing experience just to see what bills are being passed, and how are these people are coming together and changing things in local communities, and such as also the state as well, and seeing what are they developing, what are future projects, and seeing how they can improve on numbers. Especially, I know one of the biggest ones was for homeless people, and I think that was really such amazing that they did. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm also a student at Atwater High School. I'm a junior, and I'm really happy I was able to join Youth Legislators program. It really did teach me a lot about leadership skills and about how you guys run your meetings. It was nice to learn about the mock trial and how it's all run. Overall, it was a really good experience to meet the senator and meet other representatives like Jim Costa. It was really great to be able to talk about all of those general stuff, and I thank you.
It was a great group of kids. Unfortunately, I didn't get to make it up to the Senate, but I did in 2019. It's in your hands now, right? You're our hope. No offense, guys. So, thank you very much. Great job. Does anybody have any questions about the program? If those that are watching on the TV, they can always contact our office, 209-726-5495. We're located at 510 West Main Street in Merced. And we are looking to see how we're going to continue to grow, if we can, depending on what happens in November. But it is a wonderful opportunity to have that civic engagement, and to hopefully one day they'll be sitting up at the podium where you are. Thank you.
Any of you guys like to make a comment on anything?
Just want to say you guys are all well-spoken. If you guys ever have any questions, reach out to us. You know, we're pretty much just placeholders for you guys when you're here and ready to step up. Everything that we're doing, we're not really doing for us. We're all family people here. We enjoy this city. We are trying to make sure that Atwater survives, so it's around when you guys are ready to be up in these seats. So again, don't hesitate, reach out.
Mr. Button?
So you guys are sure you want to be in politics, huh? No, you know, I remember somebody telling me that, you know, being in politics doesn't necessarily mean, you know, you're holding a certain office position. You know, being in politics is just caring about what's going on in your community. And, you know, you do not have to hold any office position to make an impact. And you guys already know this, because you guys are leaders already in your high schools and your schools that you're at. So you guys are already making an impact, and you already know what that's like. So just keep doing it. And, you know, I think it's just always important to remember where you came from. Remember your humble, you know, the people around you that are helping you grow. Like, those are the people that help kind of shape you a little bit. And, you know, just, I know you will, but have gratitude in those as well. So you guys are a good group.
I would like to say, Ms. Westmoreland, please thank Senator Caballero for heading up this program. I think it's extremely important, and a lot of great things can come out of it. You guys, like Councilman Ambry said, please, if you have any questions, stop. You can find our email addresses on our website. You guys, are you aware of the internet and how to use a website? Okay, I'm sure you are. But please, you can email us. You can always stop me if you see me on the street. I try to get to all the football games here in town. Stop and see me. It's hard to recognize me, but I'm the very tall man with a hat, funny hat. So stop, recognize me. I'm glad to sit down with you and share my experiences and what the good things are and the bad things are in politics. And I'm sure you got both of those while you were in this class. I can congratulate you on stepping up and getting into that class. That is really special. Because we always hear about the young kids, they don't know what they're doing. Well, you guys are learning, and that's important. I appreciate that from all you guys. So my hat off to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go on to the consent calendar.
Background information has been provided on all matters listed under the consent calendar, and these items are considered to be routine. All items under the consent calendar are normally approved by one motion. If discussion is requested on any item, that item will be removed from the consent calendar for separate action.
I'm going to open up the public, to the public now. Are there any members in the public inside the chamber who would like to speak regarding any items we
Motion to approve the consent calendar.
Can I pull item 5? Yeah. And now I'll motion to approve consent calendar as amended. Question mark.
I was going to say, do I change my motion or do we go with his?
All right. Yeah.
Technically speaking, you should ask for him to change it, and then you could change it.
Oh, okay.
But it's
I don't know if I want to change it now.
It's a consent calendar, so we'll it's not very controversial. But yeah, that's the proper way to do it.
Go ahead and change the motion to approve the consent calendar as amended.
I'll second.
Button,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Kale. Motion passes.
Okay, we'll move on to number 5. Initiative to approve the legislation authorizing budget amendments and appropriations and fund in other 1005 police grant for the fiscal year to approve purchase of purchase agreement with National Auto Fleet for the purchase of one hybrid and for police.
Councilman Budd, do you have a particular question, or you just want me to go
No,
through what happened?
Maybe just a general, and then actually I realized maybe you can,
I tell you what.
and just
I'll
in
answer all of those.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So the reason why these items are coming before you now is, one, we're trying to execute the budget that was passed in June. 2, supply chain issues are now beginning to affect even us in public safety with the availability and the procurement of vehicles. So item number 5 is a hybrid patrol vehicle. We already have those in our fleet. The reason why we're asking for the budget amendment is those vehicles also qualify for the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District's grant program, which will give us $20,000 back on that vehicle. So instead of that vehicle costing $53,000 net cost, it'll cost you $33,000 net cost. So extremely good way of getting vehicles. The reason the urgency is now here on the 12th is I've already have production line space, which we had to get because the production order line was open for 4 days back in August. It is on. Okay. So the production queue was only open for 4 days. So I had to place the order without a purchase order to hold serve due to the supply chain issues. That's why we're here now. That bought me 30 days to get in front of you for purchase orders, or we lose the queue and we have to wait a year. Does that answer it?
Yep. Yeah, that's good. That's all I have.
I have a question, Chief. So, excuse my ignorance on this. So if you were going to buy a new gas-powered car, how much would that cost?
About the same?
About the same amount.
Yes.
We're gaining to $20,000 through the air district because they won't let us have a gas car.
That is correct.
Okay, I just
And the reason why the particular police vehicle is on there was 3 years ago I argued for that to be placed into that grant program because, of course, that grant program usually wants to fund plug-in hybrid vehicles or electric vehicles. Well, we don't have that yet. It's coming, but we don't have it yet. And this hybrid vehicle, Ford had just brought it out, and it does some of the same types of things. It's a near zero emission vehicle.
Hopefully our governor never says, don't charge your vehicles between certain periods of time. Might be an issue. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah, I'll just leave that alone.
Just clarification on one item.
So this is for a hybrid, not full electric, but hybrid. So
Hybrid
it still
vehicle.
runs off of
Yes.
fuel. Okay.
Yes.
So I just wanted to make that.
It's gasoline and electric.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second. And Chief, thank you for paying attention to the presentation we had a couple meetings ago.
Roll call, please.
Ambrees,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
motion passes.
Number 7, a contract change order to the design build agreement with W.M. Lyles Company for 123 TCP mitigation project. Community Director Thompson's not here.
We have our Public Works Director.
Yeah, Public Works Director.
Hello.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I'll take over for this one. And Mayor Pro Tem Council, the recommended action should be changed to motion to approve contract order number 2. Change order number 1 was for the change of scope on Fruitland Avenue. So this should be, whenever you make the motion, is for change order number 2. Contrary to belief, staff actually hates change orders just as much as council does. But we do feel like this is justified. At the end of 2020, when the city entered into the design build agreement with W.M. Lyles, at the same time, council directed for early procurement only for the vessels. That probably saved the city $1 to $2 million in material cost inflation, and the timeline sped up. If we didn't do that then, we still would not be treating the water right now. But for the materials that are on this change order, we could not order those at that time because the design was not done. We didn't know the specification for the CMU wall that was going around the treatment sites. We didn't know how much rebar would be needed for the concrete on sites, and we didn't know the on-site piping or the off-site piping. So then when W.M. Lyles put in their proposal, until the time it was approved, the amount, this $311,000, was a price increase in just the materials. No time, no labor, no anything. When W.M. Lyles approached the city and GHD, the project management, they asked if we would be receptive to cover this cost because it's unborne costs that could not be foreseen. So staff evaluated, GHD evaluated, and we thought it was fair and reasonable. They're a very good contractor. They did the job in record time, quality work, and we want to make sure that they still put in for future bids for the city of Atwater, and we want to do right by the contractor. If council has any questions, I'm here to answer the public. I know it's a lot, but $311,000 is 1% of the total contract cost, and which that would normally be covered by contingency in one of our construction contracts, but since this is GMP, we didn't have contingency on that.
Okay. Questions from the dais?
Do these guys have a pattern of having this kind of thing happen? Is this a pretty rare?
It's rare is due to the price escalation for COVID. The materials triple in price. It was unforeseen. But no, they normally don't have a reputation for that.
And council, as well, in your packet too, under the agenda report, staff did put a materials price inflation through 2024 so that you could see that the cost adjustments.
Okay. Anybody from the public like to make a comment? Please do so.
All right, Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive, here in Atwater, also pastor Victory Baptist Church, 1280 Sierra Vista Street. So I understand this change order a lot more than the last one, where the last one involved the water tower. This one I completely understand with COVID, inflation, all of that. Here's my question, and I think other people might have it too. So when this project was constructed and everything's completed, as a resident, my thought is everything's been paid, like all the bills have been paid. So could someone just sort of educate us as the public as how this works? Why are we paying for a project that was completed, making a change order and paying so far after the project's been completed, if that makes sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, I can answer that.
Because, and then also just a follow-up is it, even though they reached out and asked if the city was willing to, you know, meet halfway on that, which we all understand this change order, is it normal to agree to it and then bring the change order to the city council after it's already been agreed to and the work's been done?
So the first part is,
And I'll sit down.
yeah, you're fine. The project's paid out. So if council doesn't approve this, they don't get the money and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
They don't get it, just so you guys know. But we want to keep a good relationship with this contractor. The second is that, say, what was the second question again?
Agreeing to do something before.
Okay, so staff just agreed with the recommendation, and they make the recommendation to the council. The council is the one that's the only one that can approve it. So we just,
Could I follow up? It's not back
yeah.
real quick. Just for clarification for anybody listening. So really, this contractor understood that it would have to come to city council, be approved. So they understood they may not get it, they may get it.
Correct.
Okay.
We told them we would bring it to the council meeting, and if it's approved, not approved, that's up to the city council.
Awesome, thank you. I just wanted to make sure there was clarification because I know I didn't understand that process and there may be others who didn't.
Anybody else? I have a question for the finance director. So, paying these guys will come out of the TPC fund then, correct? Okay, I just wanted
Correct.
to make sure that we're not gonna get any feedback that, oh, you guys are spending money on this. Okay, I'm willing to listen for a motion.
Motion to approve staff's recommendation as presented with making sure that it is reflecting change order number 2.
I'll second.
Call for a vote?
Ambrose,
Yes.
Button,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
motion passes.
Public hearings, waiving the first reading and introducing an ordinance repealing and replacing Chapter 5.04 general provisions and amending portions of Chapter 5.08 schedule of license fee of Title 5 of the Atwater Municipal Code. And I believe the financial director is going to do, and the city manager is going to do.
Actually, if I could weigh in, Mayor Pro Tem, what staff is recommending tonight is that you open the public hearing because it was noticed, take any public comment, and then continue for the next regular meeting of September 26th.
Okay, so we'll open this up. Are there any members in the audience that would like to speak on this? If not, then we will continue the comments and continue public hearing comments on September 26th meeting. City managers' reports and updates.
Nothing for tonight. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
I apologize. Do we need to make a motion for that?
No,
No, okay, I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
It's okay. You can always question me, you know, so I'm good. Comments from the public. I'm going to open the public comments now. Are there any members of the public inside the chambers who would like to speak during public comment time? If so, please come to the podium now. Do we have any comment cards?
Mayor Pro Tem, we do have one speaker card. It's for Gabe Santos.
Okay.
Please don't start my time yet. I need to get set up here real quick.
That's okay. We're always willing to listen to you.
Good evening, Gabe Santos, 3391 Shoreline Drive. It's a pleasure to be here this evening and be part of the recognition for our officers, both Sergeant Snyder for completing his leadership program. I really liked what he said about treating his people right. I think that's important. Why I'm here today is to speak on Measure B. I also want to acknowledge the efforts, the heroic efforts of Officer Lee. I work for an irrigation district. I know what that water can do. So very glad that those two officers were there. within a timely manner. I also want to recognize Officer Salazar's heroic efforts. I'm a pool owner myself, and it's scary to have that pool in your backyard. It is important to note that if someone is not breathing underwater for 3 to 4 minutes, they're basically brain dead at that point in time. So more than 10 minutes of no resuscitative efforts, they're not revivable. So in regards to Measure B, I just want to be here I'll be here hopefully every meeting to emphasize Measure B and the importance of Measure B. Here are some of the items that Measure B does not tax. Food products for human consumption, animal life, feed, seeds, plants, and no prescription medications. I think it's very important that we also recognize, I've had a lot of comments and questions from the public. We recommend those, we acknowledge those, we try to follow up with those. The current Measure H, which is for the half-cent public safety tax, has over the last, since 2019, paid for 9 patrol vehicles, radios for both police and fire departments, radar guns for speed control, 8 additional police officer positions, multiple fire department training props, ladder truck, fire engines, 2 additional fire department positions, 2 additional fire department command vehicles, and various fire department tools and equipment. The current measure that's being on the ballot for November is the Measure B ballot, or Measure B public safety tax, and that is for 1 cent. That would potentially juvenate $4 million for the city of Outwater, and I can't emphasize the importance of that. Here's some of the quick pros and cons. That 1 cent would equate to, if you went down and spent $100 on non-taxable items, hot food, you spent $100 at McDonald's, $1 of that would go towards this public safety. I went and did a own study for my own family of 4, that equates to about $5 to $6 a month. I'm willing to pay $5 to $6 a month to keep additional officers on the streets, to prevent our 6 homicides from occurring, to prevent another house from burning down, and those long response times, to keep kids out of canals, to keep kids out of the bottom of that pool. It can only be used for public safety funds. It is overseen by Oversight Committee. It saves from the general fund. That's $4 million that would not be pulled out of the general fund. It can only be used for the city of Outwater, police, and fire. It will improve staffing levels. It'll bring back additional fire and police department resources. Reduce crime, petty theft, save lives, reduce property damage. The cons, if it doesn't pass, reduction in fire police. I have older equipment, older PPE, personal protective equipment, and other liabilities to the city. Keep in mind, we've had 6 homicides, multiple fatality incidents on our highways, over 1,000 calls over the last 2 months, and I appreciate your time and your support in voting yes on Measure B. Thank you.
No, Mayor Pro Tem, there is not.
All right, I'll already introduce myself, Rich Miller, 334 Silva Drive. I just wanted to follow that up and just say, for those who do not know, I know everyone here in the room knows, but Gabe is a concerned resident. He doesn't get paid for doing what he's doing, and he's doing a fantastic job. Also, I noticed that our city manager is wearing yellow, which is the color of the signs around town, and you've done a great job putting those out, Gabe, you and your group. So people are going to see that, and hopefully they're going to get informed on it. I've said from the beginning that I believe we need to get behind our fire and police. I've also said I hate taxes, and I'm not going to waver on either of those statements, but I want people to be informed. I encouraged the people of our church yesterday to get informed, and we're trying to make sure people are going to be informed. Gabe, Miss Linda Dash, others, they've done a great job trying to make sure people are informed so that they can make the decision they think they need to for our community. With all that being said, yesterday we were able to honor our firefighters at the 9/11 service. We honored all first responders, obviously, but at our church afterwards, we honored firefighters. And I appreciate all those that serve here in our community. And even though it's been said before by our chief, Chief Ayuso, we do not have a lot of firefighters. We honored one firehouse. We rotate every year. Yesterday was Firehouse 42, which is by Buhack. And when I asked Chief Ayuso, I said, can you give me the names of the officers, the firefighters that are stationed there? He gave me 2 captains and 2 engineers. And we gave the whole firehouse a plaque. But I think, once again, just sometimes there's a disconnect for our community. but there are 4 that are stationed there. Of course, we have Chief Ayuso down at 41, Chief Lopes also down there, our new fire marshal. And I appreciate the 6 firefighters that came yesterday so that we could honor them, and they were just so gracious. But as I was talking to one of them about the job and how they need more personnel, he said, I'll be honest with you, Pastor Miller, in the last year I've probably slept through the night 5 nights. He says, because I wake up every night because that's the job. And so our first responders do need our support. So seriously consider what Gabe's been presenting, get informed, and make a decision when the election comes.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, before closing comments, I want to make sure that, go back around and make sure that nobody else wants to speak. Hearing none, we'll close public comments. City Council comments. Mr. Ambry?
I want to start off thanking Victory Baptist Church. A wonderful event yesterday. You guys are always hospitable to your first responders, and even you can tell that our fire department wanted to be there. Well, I believe it was our crew from Station 41 had to leave for a call. They could have went back to the firehouse. No, they came back and sat with you guys. And when you had your younger group walk through and shake all their hands, you can see the pride in our fire department there as they shook every single child's hand. So thank you for inviting me. It was an honor being there. Chief, you have a hell of a crew. Everything that Sergeant Snyder was saying, that's what I'm looking for in a leader. So you got a good one there. Officer Lee and Officer Salazar, like I stated down there, it was hard just listening to you speak on what happened. It really did pull out the heartstrings so much when I got up here. I showed Miss Waterman my watch here that said that I had a very high heart rate because it was just so emotional. So again, the community can't thank them enough, but let them know that we really, really appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
I regret to not be able to make the event at Victory, but I wish I could have been there. Last year's was awesome, and I just wanted to thank actually Victory Baptist Church just in general. The way they've served the community has been, it's a humbling thing that they do. They don't ask for us to say thank you up here. If you know Pastor Miller at all, he just wants to serve the community. So I just want to extend that thank you. I don't know what else more can be said. I mean, our law enforcement, our firefighters in this town, they do a job that's very tough, very challenging. There's a lot of, it's kind of cliche, but a thankless job, but there's just there's so many other times I can imagine where nobody knows that these situations happen, and they're just as close as a heroic thing that just happened just a few days ago. And that's just all in a day's work. So it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing story. And I'm really glad that I was a part of it. So thank you.
Okay, before I get to the good stuff, I got one thing I really want to talk about. And I'm getting very disgusted with our contractor who's handling our trash. I don't know if it's a management problem or what they're using as an excuse that they can't get people to come to work. I don't care. But I'm going to direct staff that we start the RFP for a new trash collector and get that going as soon as possible. Would there be any problem with that, City Manager?
No, thank you for bringing that up, Mayor Pro Tem. Actually, we are nearing the end of the contract with Republic now, and staff has been working diligently on a new RFP. They're working with legal to get that finalized. But during the interim, we may be coming to council for a brief extension while we go out to RFP, because it is a long process, and we want to make sure that we get a good service provider going forward for the community.
Yes. Mr. Vinton, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, the RFP is already out on the street.
Okay, so we're going to get that out good.
Yeah, the proposals are due October 19th.
Okay.
And then we'll start evaluations and negotiations.
Okay, good enough. So one of the things that I kept seeing in social media is that they're not getting in the information. We don't know that's going on. We don't know anything's going on. But I'm going to tell you, this thing, it's hard. Everybody wants to have friends, and everybody wants to stay in contact. And we get hundreds and hundreds of ads a day, and everybody misses the fact that we had a great presentation on Sunday, and for a day of remembrance, and it was very special to be a part of that, even though I didn't let anybody sit down. To be able to get there and have that thing, and everybody's going, nobody knew about it. Well, look it up on our website. If you're wondering, it's on our website, so please do that. I want to say, we actually had a very nice program yesterday. It was exciting. Afterwards, we went to Pastor Miller's church and celebrated the firemen, and I have to agree with Mr. Ambrose. It took my breath away to have Pastor Miller get all the young kids in his church and have them come down in front and shake the hands of the firemen. That was special. That meant a lot to me.
Mayor Pro Tem, if you don't mind.
Yes.
And it's not that he made them do it.
No, okay.
These children legitimately had smiles on their face when they went up there, and it really looked like it was an honor for them too to shake the hands of these individuals.
Yeah, it is. Other than that, thank you all for coming. I shall adjourn this council meeting.